If you're a serious investor, you already know that the holy grail of market intel is the almighty Bloomberg Terminal. But here's the problem. It costs $24,000 a year. And unless you work at a bank, a hedge fund, an endowment, family office, or some sovereign wealth fund, you're likely not getting one. But what if Bloomberg offered a light version just for retail? So I have to do a video on this because it's the thing I miss most from investment banking. In Bloomberg, I'm telling you right now, you're sitting on a $500 million revenue stream and you're not doing anything about it. Here's the opportunity. Millions of self-directed investors out there are managing their own portfolios. They're hungry for tools. They're using Yahoo Finance, Reddit, Seeking Alpha, TradingView, Koyfin. I mean, I literally just did a video on all the tools I use now instead of using Bloomberg. Here it is, check it out after this video. But these retail investors, myself included, would pay real money for Bloomberg-level quality if the price made sense. Now I'm talking about a Bloomberg Lite. In fact, let's call it Bloomberg Pulse, because if they did this, Bloomberg would definitely be putting their finger on the pulse of the average retail investor. You could make it simple. Just put in the essentials like charts, real-time data, earnings calendars, macro alerts, sector monitors, breaking news. Put it all into a mobile app. You don't need swaps, you don't need interbank chat messaging, no legacy fixed income modules, just what serious retail investors actually need. Now what about the price point? $200 a month? Nah, for what you get, that's way too cheap. But what about $400 to $500 a month? Now, absolutely, that's around $5,000, $6,000 a year. And that's the same range people pay for the wide charts, the Koyfin Pro, the Benzinga Elite, the Seeking Alpha. And at that price, even if 10,000 investors signed up, Bloomberg makes $50 million a year. At 25,000 users, that's $125 million a year. Now, at 100,000 global subscribers, now we're talking real money. That's $500 million a year. And the best part, almost all of it, is margin for Bloomberg.
Damn!
They already have the data. They already have the infrastructure. And hell, they even have their own television show. And what they have that's most important is the know-how. They just need to package it right. So why hasn't Bloomberg done this already? I mean, it's not a groundbreaking idea. But I think there's three reasons here. So one is brand ego. They don't want to dilute the prestige of the terminal, but there is no terminal anymore and you don't need it. You just log on to an HTML version and you're good. They have this enterprise first mindset, right? So they've always sold to institutions. That's the way they do it and not to individuals. But hey, this is an opportunity. And with the arrival of AI, it's just a little time before someone puts something up like this and is able to cut you out completely. And they have this fear of cannibalization. They worry a light version could eat into full terminal sales. But that's why you strip out 80% of the extra stuff that a retail investor wouldn't use and concentrate on the 20% the retail users would actually find useful. And here's a fact, right? The guy or the girl at the bank who's paying $24,000 for the Bloomberg terminal, they're not going to downgrade to a 5K Lite version. It just won't have everything they need. Sure, there may be some institutional guys who are not client-facing. Maybe they're back office or ops people who are like 5K with some add-ons is fine. Let's do that. But just like when Bloomberg went from actual terminals to Bloomberg Anywhere, this is a necessary transition. And the retail investor can't justify $24,000 even if they wanted to, nor are most of them trying to find out where the market is on municipals or JGBs. So right now, Bloomberg is just burning a pile of money every year by doing nothing. So here's the playbook, right? Here's how Bloomberg could do it and win. The product, we'll call it Bloomberg Pulse, right? It's a web-based with an app, but no official terminal. It has core modules like quotes, news, charts, earnings, and watch lists. It has live feeds for one selected market, so live pricing basically. It costs $417 a month for the basic outlay, and that works out to $5K a year, with add-on potential for news subscriptions like the Financial Times, Wall Street Journal, or Nikkei. You have data plugins, real-time alerts, Excel access to limited real-time Bloomberg data like pricing and fundamentals. Then you get rid of all the amazing support, which I always thought was awesome, and I probably didn't say thank you enough to all the Bloomberg support people back in the day. But honestly, I always appreciated you guys. You always helped me out. You were always so awesome, so on it, and you got things done that I honestly couldn't do myself. But then you make all that help, that service desk, you make all that AI based. So there's less of a drag on personnel. And you can issue Bloomberg paid for classes for new retail users to go over critical Bloomberg commands and usability. I mean, honestly, it took me probably 6 months to a year to just get used to using Bloomberg, like looking at candlestick charts, GPC, or looking at financials, FA, or looking at Ichimoku Cloud, GOC. I mean, using all the functionality, that's just simplified, but all the functionality is pretty crazy. It's just muscle memory. I don't even know what I'm typing anymore when I'm using Bloomberg. The other thing is you don't have to have IB chats or messaging capabilities. So there's no order management system, no execution management system, and a limited amount of downloadable data. You can literally just limit what the retail investor can access on the back end. That's it. It's simple, it's scalable, it's super high margin that people like me would pay for, and they'd crush the retail data space overnight, like absolutely flip the script. So Bloomberg, if you're listening, I'm your guy. I'm happy to lead this initiative for you or even be your preferred sponsoree, affiliate, whatever it may be. Either launch Bloomberg Pulse or watch somebody else build the system that people want, that you already have the infrastructure for, and you have it available, you just haven't dropped it. And retail investors, if you pay for something like this, drop a comment below. What would you want most in a $5,000 a year Bloomberg subscription? And don't forget to subscribe, because here at Monster Capital, we're not just about taking the fear out of investing, we're also going to try to level the playing field, especially when there's a company leaving hundreds of millions of dollars on the table that I personally would happily contribute to. And hopefully there'd be a way through this that Bloomberg could help pay for some of my kids' school fees. Remember, kindness is the rent we pay on earth, so do something nice for someone, and I'll see you in the next one.